I think whilst we're on the topic of speaking of albums and EPs that we've done front-to-back sessions for, I think it's time that we go ahead and do a front-to-back session for this debut EyeSawGod EP.
Echoes of a Dying World.
Okay, Echoes of a Dying World. Okay, fuck yeah. We start with the first track by EyeSawGod, that being Gaza. This EP is coming out on the 15th, so y'all be ready. But yeah, let's get started. Whoa, that's a lot of bass for my ears. Holy shit. God damn, that's a lot of bass, bro. I don't remember this last time.
Staying along the way, finds you. I noticed there are piles of meat.
Gentlemen, let's go ahead and continue this EP with I'll Show You God, featuring the vocalist of Heavy Hitter.
I
what the fuck is up? I'm burying you and you're fucking through. I got consistency that I'm living everyone. I got the time to fucking
Ooh, meaty. Alright, let's get right to the next track. Right on to the next track.
I wish we never choose fucking kick in the fucking head, stop and cut the hoop. So you can feel my pain, and that's the pain I have. Waking up every day.
take your best shot.
I don't know. I shouldn't be. What do you think? Can I have my phone? Kind of
Dude.
a good idea, in my opinion.
Dude.
So sweeter.
Yeah. All the stuff still.
That's my favorite.
Commonplace.
There it is.
Hira, hura, hira, hura.
We all hear the voice back.
That
He
was
said it went so hard it shut everything down.
yeah.
It
Dude.
was the
Shut
808s.
it all down. Whoa, shut it down now.
Dude, that EP was fucking fantastic, man. That was really,
Yeah.
really good.
That
I
that
think-
brings back like, a lot of memories for me.
Yeah. I
That-
think my
That
favorite
took me back to like 06, 07, going to my first show and like catching a fucking spin kick in the mouth. I'm here for
Yeah,
it, dude.
this was definitely like fully intended to be like VFW mosh music, like break out the shorts and the jersey.
Yeah. Oh, back when you could do shows at a VFW hall and shit, before we had
Yep.
all these wonderful venues now that take fucking merch cuts and pay to play shit.
Dude, I remember when there wasn't venues. That's crazy that you say that because like I remember that shit. Like I remember when it was all like dive bars and then like VFWs or like town halls, country clubs and shit.
You ever get bored? You should Google. It used to be here in Columbus. It's gone now, but it was called Bernie's Distillery, and it was a fucking little.
I played where the fuck did I play in Ohio? I played at Dirty Dungarees, that
Oh,
laundromat.
I'm so sorry. That laundromat.
It was, I honestly, I liked it, but it was funny because like so many kids came and I was just like hilarious to me. I was like, we're in a laundry. Like
Right.
the whole time I was playing the set, like there's a video of it. I'm literally, so we're set up here, right? And then beyond us, it's like the area, there's like that little on our left.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the room out there where the laundromat is.
Yeah.
And like, bro, I literally like, if you ever in the video, bro, I'm literally like, look, I'm playing and I'll be like headbanging and I'll look and I'll see like the laundry machines and shit and I'll just start bagging up, dude.
When did you
Like
guys?
it was the funniest.
When did you guys get it?
I want to say last winter was when I played there. I forget
I think
who
I
it was
at
with.
that fucking show, dude.
That was with Us Spoke Zarathustra. That was sick because I went over.
That fucking show, dude.
That's beast,
I
yo.
was at that fucking show because that's one of the local venues close to me.
That's so beast.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I was
That's
at that
awesome.
show. I'm trying to remember who all you guys played with.
I forget too, bro. Like I'm the worst with that shit. I remember like different shit because like all I remember was that like I remember playing the set, but I also remember there was those 2 record stores that are right by there. So we went to the one that's right across the street and we checked that out. And then there was a record store like a couple blocks up and it was like on like the main strip, like where the main street is, like where the venue is, like,
Magnolia Thunder Pussy. Yep, Magnolia Thunder Pussy and Used Kids.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Kids
my
records.
stop.
I remember. Yep.
City so well. That's crazy, dude. Because I think I was at that show. Because if memory serves me right, you guys were either playing with one of the locals here that I'm friends with, either Samara or Domestic Terror. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm pretty sure I was at that show.
That shit was a good show.
That's so wild. You get Dirty Dungarees.
Yeah, bro. I like that venue. That's the shit that I live for. Like that's like real deathcore venue. Like
Oh, dude, you should have seen it. Like they started remodeling it last year, probably before you guys went out there. You should have seen it before, dude. There was like body inlays and fucking drywall and shit. People get fucking just smashed in the fucking walls and shit. Like the PA system there is garbage, dude. Their sound
bro,
system.
I couldn't hear shit. I couldn't hear a fucking thing.
There's no acoustic.
Dude, I was just so glad that like I was so close to the drums because I was like, at least this is keeping me on time.
Right.
I was like, that's all that matters. Like I might not be able to hear myself, but I need to play in time. That is big.
It's so crazy, dude.
That venue was tight. Like it was weird walking in there though, because like I saw it was a laundromat and I didn't know what to expect. And I immediately took a picture with the Aqua Teen Hunger Force graffiti that's in the yeah, bro. I immediately took a picture with that, and then I headed into the venue. We took the mission, and I was like looking around, and I was like, "This is so sick." It's like we're literally playing at a fucking laundromat right now.
It's like laundromat / bar /
yeah, dude. That was wild too. I was like, I've never seen a laundromat / bar. I was like, that's fucking wild. I was like, Ohio is crazy, bro. It's not just for lovers.
What was that band back in the day? A Night to Dismember. Ohio was for killers. miles for killers. Oh man, that's so wild, dude. So we probably crossed paths and didn't even realize it. Realize
That is,
it's so fucking
that
funny.
is wild as shit. You look mad familiar. I think you were standing outside smoking a cigarette, but I swear to God, I think you were at that show. Like the more I look at you,
I probably
I've definitely
was.
seen you.
I probably
That's
was, dude. I'm
wild.
one of those assholes, especially at that venue, dude. Like, 'cause it's so small. There's usually like 5 to 10 of us that go really hard at that venue. So I'm one of those assholes right up in the front, just shoving motherfuckers back. Like my buddy Danny, Gates to Hell played there. And he had a fucking bruise on the side of his face where he'd gotten kicked in the face and knocked out. So he had a fucking perfect waffle bruise inlay from the bottom of a fucking band shoe on the side of his face for like a
Dude, I bet a
week,
lot of people were there. That shit was probably wild. I bet that place was packed for Gates to Hell. That's crazy.
dude. There's been some decently big bands that have played there, and it's so wild because it's like there's no room there at all. Like,
They're a cool venue though. Like I remember, so I'm not the settle up person for that band. So like I'm just like a background play guitar guy in that band. Like from what I remember hearing, like they were really good about like treating the bands good and like all that shit. So, like they were really fucking cool. And like it was, bro, that those tours were wild because like I haven't toured like since the original wave of this shit. So like it's just wild. Like now it's a bunch of kids that are our age or when we started this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that shit is so trippy for me. Like I talked about, I was on another podcast and I was, bro, like it's wild being on stage and looking at them and being like, you're literally me when I was your age, and then looking at you and being like, you're like, that shit is just so wild. Like I'm like, this is trading places because I remember being that when I was that age.
Yeah.
So like, but for real, it just makes me like, I be trying to do cool shit. Like when we play with like young bands, like we played with this band and they were really good, bro. They were from Tennessee and like they sounded like Code Orange kind of, and like they it was like this little girl playing guitar, a vocalist, a bass player, and a drummer, right? And they all went off, bro, like gnarly kids. But they pulled up with like a combo amp and like some shit, and they were gonna like plug direct into the stage shit for the bass. And I was like, nah, yo, we let them use like our shit. Full rigs, like all that shit, and they sounded crazy. And like it's shit like that I feel like I never experienced that. Nobody ever did that for me. You know what I mean? So imagine like how like hype that, like that's gonna be like a core memory for them with like the music scene. You know what I mean? And being in the position to where like I can do that because these kids are young and like they think, like I think that's another thing too. Like their perception of shit, like your band will get like a bunch of likes online. So they'll be like, oh, you're in this big band. And like in reality, you're like not at all. But like because of the perception of that, I try to be like the cool big brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna look out for you because then when they're inevitably in my position, they're gonna be better artists. You know what I mean? They're gonna be better members of the shit like that. So like it's cool being in that position, like being the old head now. Like
yeah, it's kind of weird too, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird, bro, because I don't feel like I'm that old. But then, like when kids come to shows and they're like, "I wasn't even born when this happened," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, that shit is trippy for me, bro. I'm like,
there's a whole generation of kids that doesn't even remember Mitch Luker. You know,
bro,
like
for real. It's like kids being able like to come up to me and be like, "Oh, you saw them live? That's crazy." And like for same for you, like you saw them live, bro. Like to kids, like that's like crazy to be able to talk to somebody like you or me because that's the closest that they'll get to being able to, you know what I mean, like to experience a secondhand like that. And it's like cool how much they appreciate that shit because it really is like looking back in time, bro. It's like us when we were kids. Like you remember getting a CD and being obsessed, like hoping like they had a cool album booklet and shit like that. Like that's how all these kids are now, bro. And just for real, 'cause like it's like everything you could hope to see, and it's like to me, what I see is it's like this shit is in good hands, bro. It's gonna be, they're gonna keep it going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that shit is dope. Like,
I hope
cause I
so.
be looking at all these young bands, bro. Like, have you guys heard like Amulet or Reverent or In Which Divides Us?
No.
Bro, they're all these high school age kids making these crazy ass bands that are like blowing up in the underground right now. And it's literally like watching like Chelsea Grin and all the bands pop off when we were teenagers, like watching that shit happen on MySpace. It's like the same thing again, and it's so fucking cool, bro. Like it's the coolest thing in the world.
That is cool.
No, it's
You'll definitely
wild
have to
to
link
see
us
it.
all the bands and like send that shit over on Instagram. That way we get educated.
Oh yeah,
That way
I have
we get informed.
actually, I got you right now. I'm about to send you a link. I have a Spotify playlist I made with like all of the revival bands.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I be trying to do stuff like that so where like people can listen. You know what I mean? Like, so when I promote my shit, I'm not like just promoting my shit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And whilst you're doing that, whilst you're kind of sifting through the pages and getting us those links, I'll go ahead and briefly get through my front to back review because that's usually the tradition is listening to the EP and especially if we can listening to it with the band and then me providing my review and critique afterwards. But leaving out the lyrical part because we always end up doing that anyways. Vocal capabilities, man. Your vocalist definitely fits the bill for a new wave MySpace deathcore band. There are bits and pieces of which I'm hearing in there, but then there are also definitely hella pieces that I'm hearing that once he works on them, like the deeper kind of howling gutturals and shit that we would hear back in the day with shitty mics, right? He harnessed that really well, and I do believe that if he continues like touching upon that and utilizing those lower just like if he continues expanding upon that, then he's going to help distinguish himself. And maybe, of course, the clickbait comparison or the clickbait title for EyeSawGod will be the Suicide Silence of Maryland one day. Who knows, right? But most importantly, I think him and the vocalist.
Shit is like people have already said that shit, and I think it's so funny because I'm like 100% like, yeah, that's 100% what I was trying, but like not like rip them off because you can tell like there's different parts.
Yeah.
But that is definitely like the main influence for the band. Like,
fuck yeah, I love to hear that. So then him and the combined forces of the vocalist from Heavy Hitter on one of the tracks on this EP, well, all the vocal capabilities did really, really well. I will admit that with the song that the vocalist of Heavy Hitter featured on, which I do apologize, I forgot his name. What is his name?
Austin.
Okay, so Austin from Heavy Hitter. I do believe like this was definitely one of those features where he could have stuck out a little bit more. I couldn't really tell where he was coming in and coming out. Maybe that was intentional. Not too sure. But nonetheless, I could definitely hear where it was for what it's worth. And that's what's important when you're doing a vocal feature. Just a little bit more standoutish in the future if you guys decide to bring him back on. Like a difference between pitch or something. Or maybe more of his hardcore take and approach to the new MySpace wave. So
do you mean like in terms of like is that something? Because I want to understand fully. Are you talking about like for the mix or like actual range of like what we should have asked him to do?
Right.
Just so I can understand.
Right. The range and style of what he did in the song, unfortunately with the first listen, even after having listened to a couple of their standalone singles, I couldn't really tell where he was coming in. So maybe if you guys decide to get him again in the future, more of like a polarizing sense of like, okay, this is definitely Austin.
Oh yeah, because they overlap. Yeah, no, that was intentional. So like Brady's last line, like when we recorded it, because Austin does like those call outs and stuff. So like I felt like when I wrote the part, like when I do features, I write a part that's like in the vein of like that person's band. So it's like it makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when we did that, I knew like I already knew he was type thing because like you know what I mean, that's the Heavy Hitter thing, but I wrote the vocal line, it had that last word. So like when we did it, we tried it both like cut off, like to me, you know what I mean? And then Austin come in, but like it just didn't sound as good. But I definitely feel like in the mix, we could have like in hindsight, like I could have been like, yo, can you see if you can like bring him up a decibel or so, just so it was like more like punch in instead of like, because I get what you're saying. It's like smooth, whereas like where it could have been like, boom, here's Austin.
Right.
You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Sweet. And I do appreciate your openness and like your absorption then of that critique and that criticism, and that's me being as transparent as possible. Otherwise, like I'm gonna fucking whack this EP off all day, to be honest, as far as criticism. So with vocal efforts, I would say other than that, really everything else sounded really good. So I would give that an honest rating of like 8 or 9 out of 10. There's just a little bit more room to grow, really, and to expand upon as far as your Brady, right? You said your vocalist is Brady?
Yes.
Okay, Brady. So there's a little bit more for Brady to expand upon for it to truly become the Suicide Silence of Maryland with his own touch, but he's off to a really fantastic start with this first EP. As far as the instrumentals and the genre contributions, you know, applying yourself to a new MySpace wave, you're off to a great start. Now, one thing that I think has really, really helped Nine Dead become one of the forefront bands for that new MySpace wave is how with certain songs, out of nowhere, they will completely change the rhythm and the playing style, like almost genre switch out of nowhere. A Silent Practice is a really, really good example of this. The way that throughout the song, you know, you'd have like, oh yeah, this is definitely the Suicide Silence part, and then the switch would actually catch you off guard, and then it'd be like da, and then it switches like da 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 da. Like that
Yeah.
shit to me, that's what needs to be like a regular thing. Is kind of those out of nowhere ambush rhythm switches. I want to see more of
No, I
that.
agree. I,
So I think if
yeah.
I See
I
God wants to
I,
bring the pupil of Christ per se to the saw blade, to a rusty saw blade, and continue like poking out into that new MySpace wave, definitely touch up on that a little bit more in the future. But for this being an appetizer, right? For this being a sampler, which is really meant to push in your face and even spit in your face, we are the Suicide Silence of Maryland, then you're on the right track with this one. And this is a really good demonstration of saying, yeah, we definitely want to contribute to that culture going into the near future. This is what we've been inspired by. This is at the roots of our DNA. Basically, Suicide Silence, if it was a family member, it would be a dad who ran away and decided to have an affair with plenty of other bands in the scene, and we never saw him again. But we are, by blood, related to said band in the DNA. And that shit, to me, is really stand out. As far as the EP cover, I mean, in this front to back stream, right? This is before the actual EP releases, but the glimpse that I got of the EP cover, well, it is an EP cover, right? It's a sample, it's an appetizer. But for the visual and for the name of the EP, I do believe the EP fits really, really well. I like the black and white with the gross, like fucking almost illegible ass I Saw God, truly MySpace era style logo slapped right on top, simple font at the bottom. I would love to get it as a flag at some point this year. That's what's most important. So I would give the album cover a 10 out of 10. Yeah. And overall opinions, overall thoughts, I Saw God is truly contributing to that flurry, that either blizzard, avalanche, or typhoon, because for whatever reason there's a fucking typhoon-sized wave splashing into the East Coast right now, with bands like Nine Dead in New Jersey, right? I Saw God in Maryland, Tracheotomy in Florida, Heavy Hitter also in Florida. You guys are all seeing that East Coast wide typhoon rolling in, and you have every intention to ride the wave, and I'm here for it. I hope to get every single band from this new wave onto the Anatomy Crosscast, and we are grateful that on such short notice that Zach decided to go ahead and jump on with us. Not only that, but two, listen to this EP before we actually get into the meat and potatoes of the questionnaire. This EP is fantastic, though, and I look forward to getting the rest of EyeSawGod on the Anatomy Crosscast in the future for their debut full length whenever you guys are ready. Finn, did you have any critique, any commentary you wanted to provide before we conclude the front to back session for today?
The only critique I have, the only criticism I have is I hate that it wasn't being played right in front of me, so I could like pick up my worker and throw him across the fucking room. Like
Soon. I promise soon.
I feel you. Like, just so you know, you ever play in Ohio within drivable distance to me, I'm gonna show up at that show and I'm probably gonna throw people.
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Like, it's gonna be like a KCS train fucking level type shit. It's like trash cans.
Yo,
Fuck yeah. Cool.
that's amazing.
Well, I do believe then that will conclude in a very happy note and a very positive note the front to back session for EyeSawGod and their debut EP. Okay.